Hi, I'm Cheryl Yamamoto with Pineapple Life Studios, and I'm a yoga instructor at Pineapple Life, but I'm also an aerial yoga instructor. So I thought it would be very beneficial to go over some of the basics and benefits of an aerial yoga practice. So I'd like to start with going over what an aerial swing is, an aerial silk. So you may have seen these online or even in your own studio that you practice at, and many of our students have this set up at home, myself included. So I'd like to just show you the aerial silk. And this is a special type of fabric. So if you're considering having an aerial silk at home, you don't want to just go to Michael's or Joann's and get any old fabric. It's a specific type of fabric that will hold thousands of pounds. So it's specific. And we actually have the yoga silks for sale in our online store. And we're actually having a promotion for $20 off the regular price of a yoga silk. Now they come in all different types of colors and shades, and the ones that we have available, I'll show you. We have an ombre purple, so it has the lavender, it's kind of hard to see, but it has the lavender, purple, it's very beautiful, it's ombre. Purple, we also have unicorn ombre, and this is really popular. It's just beautiful, all the different colors in here, but also very popular with kids aerial. And then of course we have our signature turquoise, static, ombre, or no, not ombre, just turquoise color aerial silk, which is just beautiful. So again, specific type of fabric that you use, and I will have a link in the description box to where you can purchase these. Also, we have the complete setup, so you'll need a little bit more to get this up in your home. You'll need what's called a daisy chain and also the hooks, the carabiner hooks, which we sell as a package, and if you buy everything together, there's a little bit of a discount, of course. So I wanted to talk to you now about some of the benefits of an aerial swing. Of course, there's the inversion therapy, which I'll get into in just a moment. But I like to simply take the aerial swing right to the rib cage and to just drop back in it. Just drop back a little bit, bend the knees, take the feet wide. You're gonna cross at the wrist or just take your forearms right to the fabric. And this allows you to start to move a little bit side to side, get the lateral, bending one knee then the other. You can start to make little semicircles here, full circles. But this is very, not only grounding, gives you a sense of grounding and spinal decompression, but also it's a heart opener. You can drop back to your comfort level here. You can even support your head. But it's a nice counter for those of you who are sitting at a desk a lot during the day or just hunched over. This is a nice heart opener, gentle heart opener. So even something very basic can be helpful for grounding and heart opening. So there are just so many uses of the aerial swings. Towards the end of this, I will show you how to get in and out of a very popular aerial pose called chandelier. And I'm gonna take you from chandelier with the mermaid option, but I will show that to you when we get towards the end. I do wanna talk to you a little bit more about the benefits of an aerial practice. So there's several things that you can use the silks for. Okay, we offer at Pineapple Life several different types of aerial yoga classes. Some are just stretching. We have a candlelight restorative aerial class, which takes the silks down very low. As you can see, the silk here is right at my hip crease level if I'm standing on my tiptoes. This allows me the space I need to invert, to go upside down without touching your head, to be able to clear the floor. But for a more restorative and relaxing type of aerial practice, we would take the silks down either to the knee or even further to the height of a block. And this allows you to do more of like a yin type class using the silks as a way to deepen your stretch. It's simply amazing. It almost feels like you have a personal adjuster, a yoga assistant right there, helping to take you further into your stretch and further into your relaxation, all by the use of your aerial silk. And even further from that, there's just your hammock. It's so nice to be able just to come in and lie down like you're lying in a hammock, to read a book, to take a nap. Again, children love this. We have kids aerial classes of from ages 3 and up. And I'm telling you, I teach one of those classes, and the children love, love, love the aerials. And these silks also allow them to show their creativity and to have fun and playfulness. I really like the fun, playful side of the aerial silks as well. It doesn't have to be a serious, deep, or even relaxing practice. It can be very fun and playful. But also, the aerial silks teach you to trust, to be comfortable inverting and going upside down, which, to be honest, can be a little scary at first. I personally have a fear of heights, so this practice in the aerial swings has helped me to overcome a lot of those fears. It really has. Forcing myself, or not really forcing, but encouraging, that's a better word, myself to come out of my comfort zone and to trust that the fabric will support me, and to go upside down has made it easier and easier every time I do it, and it does help to conquer those fear of heights, for me at least. So also I wanted to point out that other than the tricks and relaxation or spinal decompression or basic inverting, the silks provide a core element. So you will very much strengthen your core, your upper body strength will increase. There's so many uses of an aerial silk. Pretty much anything. Any practice that you have, whether it be a yoga practice or just any exercise bar, there's aerial bar. There are a lot of fusions that you can bring into your everyday practice and make it new and fun and even more challenging with an aerial silk. So there's just so many uses, different uses of an aerial silk at all levels. Highly, highly recommend it. Using the aerial silk in my practice really changed my practice. It opened up more creativity for myself, helps with flexibility. I mean, there's so many health benefits. It just goes on and on and on. But I encourage you to give it a try if you haven't already. So I'm going to talk a little bit about a common use of the aerial silk, which is called inversion therapy. So this is basically creating space between all of the discs in your spine. So the discs between our joints, they don't get as much blood flow or oxygen flow. So inverting, going upside down, actually can increase this flow of blood, oxygen, lymph, all the fluids through the body. And this can be very healing and can decrease pain in a gentle way by providing this opening. So a couple other benefits of inversion therapy, of course, we have our increased blood flow. It can also alleviate varicose veins if you're prone to having varicose veins. It can decrease compression in your spine. So that will also help to relieve any back pain, neck pain. It can help to relieve sciatica, even fibromyalgia. Just from hanging upside down, it sort of helps to flush out the system. It helps to flush out all the other organ systems, helps to promote the lymphatic system and the circulatory system by flushing out the lower body. So oftentimes the fluid can pool in our feet, and going upside down helps it to come back into the heart space, which obviously gives your heart a little bit of a break. So, and it increases the blood flow to not only the heart, but into the brain. And so it's just so beneficial, this inversion therapy. It's actually a type of inversion therapy. Of course, there's other types of inversion therapy, like the inversion table, but I feel like the aerial silk is such a good way. It's fun. It's a better way, in my opinion, than just laying on an inversion table. And it does the same thing as far as the health benefits to the spine, and the spinal decompression is huge. You just feel so much better after hanging upside down. However, before you start any sort of inversion therapy or any sort of inverting in an aerial silk, there are some contraindications that you need to be aware of. So contraindications are things that you need to watch out for before, again, beginning in any sort of inversion therapy. Now, some of the things to be aware of prior to inverting: any recent muscle strains, surgery. So if, obviously if you had broke anything in the body recently or strained the neck, you want to be very careful of that, okay? So obviously before you start any sort of exercise program, check with your doctor, make sure that you're cleared, and make sure that you do your due diligence there, especially if you've had any recent surgeries, okay? With that being said, congestion. Many of you may be coming off of a flu or cold or any sort of sinus pressure. Going upside down, you're already having all that pressure. It's definitely going to increase that. So it may be just uncomfortable for you, and you might want to either go upside down very slowly, go in stages, and perhaps not hang upside down as long as you would normally if you're suffering from any sort of congestion, any sort of recent sinus congestion, headache, cold, or flu. If you are prone to vertigo or fainting, so that's also something you really want to watch. You're going to have to come up slowly and go in slowly. Really take your time. Don't rush in or out of any inverting type of therapy. Go slow, especially if you're prone to vertigo or fainting. Another thing that you want to watch out for or be aware of rather is if you're prone to seizures, epilepsy, please check with your doctor. Make sure that this type of inverting therapy is something that they recommend for you. Okay, glaucoma, any sort of obviously eye blood vessel pressure, pressure in the eyes, you want to make sure again that your doctor is aware that you're going to be starting this type of inversion therapy. Make sure that they say it's okay first. Extreme high or even low blood pressure. If you're on blood pressure medications, inverting can decrease or increase your blood pressure depending on what type of inversion you're doing and how long you're there. Again, err on the side of caution, check with your doctor. Hernia, blood clots, you want to be careful of that too. And another thing, recently we have to start saying Botox, fillers, ladies or even men. If you've had recent Botox or fillers, okay, so some people will say just, 6 to 8 hours. I actually say 4 days minimum. Don't go upside down for 4 days. It takes about 48 to 72 hours for Botox at least for it to settle into the nerves, okay? So before it finds those nerve endings and settling in, it's still spreading, if you will. It hasn't attached quite yet. So you wanna be careful of not going upside down. We don't want everything to disperse. Same with fillers. They're right into a specific area. If you go upside down, it can pull. Again, I personally would say 4 to 7 days. I know that depending on your doctor or your practitioner who is doing the Botox injections or filler injections may say a few hours is okay. I personally would wait at least 4 days. From everything I've read, 3 to 4 days is where you're gonna be safe. I sometimes will wait a whole week just to make sure. It's up to you, but again, check with your doctor. So after you have checked with your doctor and you know that you don't have any present contraindications, you're available to start inverting, which honestly, just this hanging upside down in the silk is just so relaxing, so awesome. But the one inversion practice that I'm going to show you today is a pose called chandelier. Chandelier to mermaid. Mermaid is just another variation of chandelier. And so there are a couple ways to get into this. Now, for the more advanced practitioners, if you have already practiced aerial yoga, you have a decent aerial yoga practice already, you do not need to do what's called the bucket seat. You can do what's called a hip hang. A hip hang is just simply taking the fabric across the belt line, the back of the belt, onto the sacrum. And you always hook your thumbs here. So thumbs to bum, fingertips out. This is how you will always drop back, or you'll always pull yourself up if I was going to take a seat. Now, the bucket seat gives more fabric support. So I always recommend, if you're new or you need more support, to do the bucket seat. Now, the bucket seat, you don't want the fabric to be all bunched up. You're gonna wanna fold it over once. The best way to fold it over is to first just take your fabric from one side, shake it out a little bit, take one hand through to the end, find the other end of your fabric, pull it up and over, and you have it folded once. And that's usually good enough for the bucket seat. You can fold it over again if you'd like. I'm gonna fold it once for the purpose of demonstrating. Now, I'm still holding on with my thumbs in, fingertips out, and with one big jump in, you're gonna get in and pull the fabric down to the back of the knees, okay? So that is how you would go into the chandelier with a bucket seat. Now I'm gonna come right back out, because everything from here is the same, and demonstrate it from a hip hang. So same thing, I'm just going to take the fabric across the belt line. Now when you drop back, the whole counterbalance is to take the legs into a wide V shape. Okay, so you may even want to go very slowly here and activate some of your core. It's not necessary, but you can drop back slow and even find a little balance here on your core. And then you're gonna take your legs out into this V shape. I'm gonna take my right leg and hook it across the front. My left knee is bent. I'm gonna take back and grab my left foot. And then I'm in chandelier. Now, if I want to go to mermaid, I'm just going to take the left foot to the left crease of my elbow, and then I am in mermaid pose. Okay, now you always want to balance. So I'm gonna unhook my right leg, hook my left foot across the front of the fabric, reach back for my right foot, and if I'd like to go to mermaid, I'm gonna hook here, and grab. So this side I have a little bit of a knee injury, so I'm not going to push myself to go to mermaid. To come out, that V shape, slowly again. I'm going to come up very slowly, and I like to right away just come right back into placing the fabric to the rib cage. Bending the knees, taking the feet a little wide. You can crisscross at the wrist for support, or you can just have your hands onto the fabric. And again, always give yourself at least a few breaths when you are coming out of any inversion, because you need time to acclimate, okay? You need time to acclimate and get used to being right side up again. So you always want to move very slowly anytime you're coming out of your inversion. And then you just come right back up. So, whew, little dizzy coming back up, and this is normal. And one other thing I want to just say about aerial yoga, because I experienced this when I first started my aerial yoga practice, and that is you can get a little nauseous when you invert, when you go upside down. You can also get dizzy. That's normal. And you're going to feel pressure and possibly pain in areas that you're not used to having compression, like under the arms, the thighs, the hip, the inner groin, the hip. You're not used to compressing there. And when the fabric compresses there, it can be a little uncomfortable. Now, I honestly did get very dizzy the first few times, nauseous, and I thought, this might not be something for me. But I just want to encourage you to hang in there, because literally after the 5th time I did it, it went away. I don't get that anymore now. It might be just slightly, but very rarely. And it did go away. My body did acclimate. So I want to encourage you to not give up, because you will acclimate and your body will begin to get used to being upside down. And that's really all it takes, is just for you to get used to it. So please keep with this, just keep going. Come back to your aerial swing day after day. And even if you just want to sit in your swing, I mean, just sitting in the swing alone. So I'm just gonna grip and just 1, 2, 3, get in, and then it's behind my knees. Just to sit in the aerial swing is very comfortable. It's very relaxing. But to lay back, if I was to lay all the way back into a hammock position, then I could meditate, and just the gentle swaying motion is so relaxing, it's so comfortable, it's great on the spine, and it really just gives you a way to be present, grounded. So again, so many benefits. I really hope that you will encourage yourself to try aerial yoga if you haven't already. And I will be posting more tutorials for certain types of aerial poses. There's so many tricks and really fun stuff that you can do in the aerial swings that are much more advanced than chandelier or mermaid. There's also poses just like basic stretching, lunges, and a full yoga flow class can be done in the aerial silk. So I hope to record a full yoga class for our Pineapple Online. It's where you can go for all of your at-home exercising. We have yoga, bar, meditation, and hopefully adding aerial yoga there soon as well. So if you have any questions or comments about aerial yoga, perhaps about some of the benefits, how to get in and out of your silk, just any other information that you could possibly want about aerial, please comment below. Let me know. And I hope you enjoyed this video. Namaste.